guys, today I'm going to be taking a look at a custom flashlight called the Okluma DC1. As you can see, I've owned this flashlight for quite a while and it's seen some good use. I think I've had this one for about a year at this point. These are built out of Oklahoma by a guy named Jeff, and the DC1 is essentially the progenitor of the original flashlight that started the whole triple LED setup craze. That flashlight was called the Max Customs Tri-EDC. Mac himself went rogue a few years back, and Jeff essentially took up the demand that was pent up for the design. That said, Jeff has implemented a lot of small changes to this flashlight over the years that distinguish it from the original Tri-EDC. The one I have in front of me here today, though, is the base aluminum model, although there's a few other metal options such as brass, copper, titanium, and I know that Jeff also does some exotic metal options like Damascus and Mokum Gain, but those are pretty infrequent and they're very cost prohibitive. So yeah, let's talk about what I like about this flashlight. First off, dimension-wise, this flashlight sits in the middle spot for most flashlights around this size. I would put it at about 3.5 inches with my very scientific measurement. This is the ideal length for most people, and the flashlight weighs in at around 80 grams with the battery. This translates to it being pleasantly lightweight in the hand, actually. I was very surprised by how lightweight it was, honestly. Ergonomic-wise, this flashlight is pretty cookie cutter. It uses the classic tapered body, with the wider tail here and the wider head. A lot of custom flashlights use this body design, and that's simply because it works. For one, it allows for that cigar hole grip that I know a lot of people like to use, and it also allows for the more normal grip with your index finger and your middle finger resting on the tapers, while your other hands grip around the head and the tail itself. So yeah, it facilitates both the normal grip and the cigar grip hold, which are pretty much the most popular holds for flashlights. And like most custom flashlights, this is running the McClicky switch. This is a forward clicky, and it's probably the best on the market in terms of clicky switches. Again, nothing special, but there is nothing wrong with going with the best. Because this flashlight is a custom, the build quality is also much better than most mass-produced flashlights. I've actually had 2 DC1 flashlights, both of which I bought secondhand. The first one was from when Jeff was still making them out of his garage, I think. That one had a distinctly different feel just to the finish of it, and it also had a copper pill in the head that normally comes with I think all the other metal options come with the copper pill except this one to keep down on the weight. I was a little too heavy for my liking, and it threw off the balance of the flashlight itself, so I sold that one. The second one that I have in front of me here today is one that I'm pretty sure came from when he moved into his new workshop. I'm pleased to note, however, that the build quality between the two is the same, which is to say excellent. Jeff also gives you a lot of options when you buy a DC1, and you can totally bling the flashlight out if that's your thing. In mine, I have an H17F driver. Here, let me pop this open so you guys can take a look at it itself. So yeah, this is an H17F driver. It's basically thing that controls all the outputs and all that good stuff. So yeah, you guys can see the H17F on the bottom right. I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up too well, but yeah, the stock driver is actually a Quillet. The Quillet goes moonlight, low, medium, and high. With the H17F, you can set specific mode groups, and there's a seemingly endless number of options that you can program this flashlight specifically to. If I can get this thing closed up. For example, in mine, I have it set for low, medium, and high. That's sort of my go-to EDC, but I do have another mode group program that's a little more simple that goes high and low. The stock LEDs themselves are Nichia 219C, but mine actually has Cree XPL2 emitters, I believe, that were installed by the previous owner. If you look closely, well, you can't see them in this lighting, but I do have tritium in there. They're ice blue tritium that go in the optic. And Jeff himself doesn't sell tritium, but there are a lot of places that you can get them online, and installation is pretty easy provided you have a drilled optic, which Jeff actually sells. By the nature of the triple LED setup, this isn't a flashlight that is going to have a lot of throw. Most triples are relatively floody, and they sort of punch through on sheer brightness alone. Again, lumens don't matter much when it gets to a certain point, and the actual LEDs you have inside the DC1 are what's going to make the most difference in terms of brightness. The Nichia ones are going to give you better color rendering, but it's going to come at the cost of brightness. If you want brightness, go with the Cree XPL High, XPL2, whatever it is. But yeah, Jeff rates the DC1 at roughly 800 lumens on the site, but that's a pretty conservative number, and they're definitely way brighter than 800 lumens, even for the base model. The DC1 has a lot of things going for it, from the build quality to the myriad of customization options. Okluma also has a very good reputation, even amongst customs. With that said, there are a few reservations that I have that I'd like to open up about. In terms of the flashlight's overall design, there's only one thing I dislike, and that is the clip here. The clip itself looks very classy, and it's very simple. But for some reason, I always have an issue with getting the clip onto my pockets, no matter the pants I use. I literally have to pull up on the clip and at the same time press the pants pocket against the body of the flashlight. This has never been an issue for me with any of the other clips I own, and it's pretty much specific only to this flashlight clip. I really think maybe the lip of the clip itself could be raised a little bit. But yeah, the tension itself is perfect. Everything else about the flashlight and its design is perfect. My next gripe has to do with the cost of the flashlight. Most of the money when you buy this flashlight is going towards the host, or the shell of the flashlight, and the flawless machining that accompanies it. The components themselves, like the driver, the LEDs, the optic, the switch, are all off-the-shelf parts that don't cost very much, to be honest. Yet the cost of customization, driver swaps, LED swaps, and so on adds up very, very quickly. For example, a driver swap to the H17F I showed you guys costs $50 alone. And just to put things into perspective, the H17F is a $20 driver, while I believe the Quillet is a $5 driver. So yeah, likewise, if you want a Dragon driver installed for that secondary LED colors such as red, amber, so on, which is $25 for the complete MCPCB, by the way, straight from Charles Wiggins, it's a $150 upcharge. Yes, labor plays into this, and everyone is certainly entitled to just not opt for the upgrade, but with that said, it is a custom flashlight, so of course people want to customize it. And as it stands, customization is simply cost prohibitive. I really think that Jeff himself is cognizant of this though. To his credit, he's done a lot to build up the brand experience without upping the cost of the stock DC1. He now includes a sapphire lens with the aluminum model. Previously, he was including a mineral lens, which is what I have in this one, by the way. And sapphire is a big jump from mineral. Although it doesn't really matter much in a flashlight in terms of usage, just material-wise, it's a great jump. And he's also offering anodized screws, by the way, I think, with the latest drop. These are great screws also. These are full titanium screws and some of the best out there. Another option he's added in the most recent drop is a different color glow gasket. I don't know if you guys can see this, but maybe if I blast the brightness a little. There we go. This one has a green glow gasket in it. So yeah, Jeff is offering a bunch of different other colors with the latest drop. And yeah, the presentation is also better than ever, and I truly think that Okluma offers one of the best brand experiences in the flashlight game. And on the topic of brand experience, a lot of people also don't factor in customer service and warranty support. There is a distinction between the two, which I will get into in a moment. In terms of customer service, Okluma is again at the top of the game. Jeff himself is responsive, helpful, and just a great guy to boot, honestly. When you buy one of his flashlights, it really feels like you're supporting someone who cares about his customers. And Jeff will definitely go out of his way to make things right in the event that something happens. And I can speak from personal experience in this regard. I actually ordered a DC1 a ways back, and the post office just lost it. I don't even know what happened. I have really bad luck with USPS, honestly, just saying. But yeah, when the flashlight never showed up, Jeff actually refunded my money with no questions asked. And you know, that takes a lot of integrity, especially for a small business owner like himself, to take a hit like that. Likewise, when my current DC1 had an issue with the driver, which was not Jeff's fault, by the way, the previous owner did a very shady driver swap job on it, and I had it back within a week. That is very unprecedented. Well, I think when I sent in my Surefire flashlight, it took them like 3 weeks to get it back. So yeah, great turnaround time, great responsiveness. My only gripe is that it cost $40 to get the driver repaired and all that. But in all fairness, the driver issue was the result of user modification and user error. Warranty support is a different beast altogether from customer service. Per the website, Jeff makes well known that his flashlights have a no BS lifetime warranty. And from my own and others' experiences, Jeff does indeed back up that warranty. But, and while I hate to be that guy, I can't stress enough that a warranty is only as good as the company that backs it. I love Okluma to death, but as a company, it just doesn't have the same guaranteed longevity as a company like Surefire does. In essence, I think that Jason from Prometheus Lights does a very effective job of summing up this sentiment. Here's a quotation directly from his site. I personally warrant my products to be free from defects in material and workmanship for the life of the product, regardless of the owner, for the lifetime of the company, whichever comes first. Hey, I'm just being practical. And really, I think that sums it all up. So the next question I'm going to answer is, do I recommend this flashlight? And my answer to that is absolutely. While I do have a few gripes about the flashlight, Jeff is constantly honing his craft. A while back, I wrote up a review in which I called the Okluma the best entry-level custom flashlight. While I don't think that this claim still stands anymore, with many new makers charging half the cost of the DC1, the DC1 overall is still the best custom for anyone who wants to get in on the triple craze. I really think that quote-unquote craze is actually somewhat of an exaggeration though. I can't remember if I touched upon this in a previous video, but the custom flashlight market is absolutely swamped and saturated with triples nowadays, each one in a seemingly different tricked out host. And unlike larger markets, it's pretty cool how you can watch the custom flashlight world work on a microeconomic scale. I don't claim to be an economic expert by any means, but generally what happens is that profits are always zero in the long run. And that's because manufacturers will jump on what's hot, and that will inevitably spread out in lower profits for other manufacturers. And that's exactly what we're seeing in the flashlight world right now. Once profit goes negative because there's so many makers of the same product, some makers will leave the market and some will break even, but very few will make profits. And those few makers that do make profit will be so vertically integrated that they can control the means of production and essentially have a monopoly on the design. I think Coolfall is a really good example of this with their spy flashlights. In this respect though, most makers need to switch it up and target the market with original and unique designs if they don't want to become irrelevant. I think that's a pretty good concluding point for today's video. I sort of went on a tangent there at the end, but if you enjoy hearing me ramble, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for future content. Thanks for watching.